Hey everybody, what is going on? I am Maximus Rex, and this is Big Baby Reviews. Today's Thursday, so we are looking at some Rob Liefeld. Next in the Youngblood run, we're going to go with Youngblood Strikefile #1. Because if I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure Rob Liefeld did Youngblood #4, which was last week's review. Then Youngblood #5 was drawn by someone else. I think it was Chap Yape, which, not a bad artist, but because it's not Rob Liefeld, I'm not covering it. And it was to be continued in Brigade #5 or something. Anyways, it was a clusterfuck when it comes to continuity. So I'm going to just follow kind of the art current. And I think, pretty sure that Rob Liefeld jumped onto Youngblood Strikefile, did this, took a hiatus for a while, and then jumped back onto Youngblood. And we'll see what kind of issues I have of that after we're through with Strikefile. But Strikefile is a flip book. So, you know, you see the great Rob Liefeld cover we got here. As you can tell, he spent a lot of time in the background on this one. And then Flipbook still kind of doing that thing with Youngblood. And here we've got a nice Jay Lee cover and a nice Jay Lee story with Chapel. This is when Jay Lee came over to Image from Marvel. But we're not going to be covering this side of it because eventually I will be doing a Jay Lee day when I run out of some artists. Jay Lee will be one of the ones who kind of comes in to fill the void. And I'll be reviewing his comics, so I'm going to save the other side of Youngblood Strikefile for that, and that's why I say these next few reviews might be a little bit shorter, because these are basically 12-page stories. 12 pages by Rob Liefeld, 12 pages by Jay Lee, and I think that might even change a little bit throughout the series. But anyways, we are at that point where Danny Miki is inking Liefeld, and I really am starting to see a difference where the art to me looks a little slicker and really in line with what the Image look is. Of course, that's the art inking in combination with the color work that really starts to define the Image look, and, you know, the look that at Extreme Studios all the other artists are kind of trying to emulate, right? It's not just Rob Liefeld anymore. They're trying to emulate the Rob Liefeld, Danny Miki kind of look. And I think this is a good example of that here, where Danny Miki is starting to take over a little bit as far as the inking goes, in the slickness of it, I guess is how I described it before and how I'm going to describe it here. So what do we got on the creative side? We've got creator, writer, penciler, Rob Liefeld, inks, Danny Miki, color design and separation, Steve Oliff and all the optics, lettering, Kurt Hathaway, and technical assistants, George McCarthy and Paul Scott. So I'm assuming those guys were helping out with like backgrounds or something. We'll see what's in here, maybe some of the weaponry and vehicles and stuff. So basically, let me kind of give you a look back in time, not just in the flashback of this splash page, because basically this is taking place during World War II, but a flashback to when I was a kid and starting to collect these Image comics. I got to be honest, by the time I got to this issue, I still really wasn't aware of that much comics history just yet. Getting access to it was a little bit difficult. You'd read little things in Wizard and stuff. Obviously, with the advent of the internet, at some point, it was much easier to discover all the kind of intricacies of comic book art history and the characters and stuff. But at this point, I was like, wow, he's got, you know, superheroes in the World War II. How amazing is that? And I thought it was a really original idea, not knowing that, you know, Rob Liefeld was definitely covering ground that had been covered since basically actually World War II back in the day. Over time, you kind of find out that a lot of these superheroes were basically kind of created to as propaganda tools for the war, for World War II, right? So, you know, these characters, in a way, even though we're going back in the past, are kind of no different. In that, you know, in their comic book adventures, they would, back in the 30s, late 30s and early 40s, they'd be confronting Hitler and the Nazis and stuff like that. Even before the war actually got started with America joining in and stuff. So, interesting kind of aspect that Rob Liefeld, again, is not pulling in from just, you know, his own kind of original ideas. I get now that where this comes from, but I thought it was really cool, kind of cool concept back in the day as a kid. And obviously when I was creating my own superheroes, I started creating heroes from the past as well. Anyways, let's move on with the actual comic, which is the subject of this review. So we've got, if I'm not mistaken, Super Patriot, right? He's actually an Eric Larson character. We've got Glory, who's basically Rob Liefeld's Wonder Woman. And we've got Die Hard, who, you know, I would definitely say is basically Captain America, right? And this is the Golden Age Die Hard, so not the same one we have today. And his mask is more of a, I would say this probably comes from Cobra Commander, right? Most of the, you know, now I know as well that Liefeld's characters, where the inspiration comes from, a lot of it comes from G.I. Joe, I would say generally, probably his main inspiration, and then other heroes, right? So it's kind of a combination Captain America kind of G.I. Joe character here. The boots and the gloves are pretty much straight up Captain America. He's got a shield, right? All that stuff. So the Golden Age, Die Hard, Super Patient, and Glory. Separately, we were dangerous, but as the Allies, we were unstoppable. So Glory is the one narrating here. So get a double page spread here. No insert panels. Kind of sad about that. As you know, if you follow the channel, I love double page splashes when insert panels are used intelligently to kind of further the storytelling, even though it's a double page splash. You know, does it you know, compete with anything Jack Kirby's done? I mean, I'd say that's debatable. Definitely some inspiration there from Jack Kirby, I would say. But, you know, Jack Kirby would definitely fill that background up with way more characters and down here and stuff for sure. Not a bad one. You know, this is, again, the way the inking is being done and stuff. It's just not Rob Liefeld anymore, or what I liked about Rob Liefeld, right? Up here, there's some weirdness in the inking. It starts to feel, with Rob Liefeld's art at Image, it starts to feel more assembly line, right? Like he's letting other guys, again, ink on top of him, but it's homogenizing and mainstreaming the style, right? I guess is how I describe it. So I'm wondering, again, if the technical assistance is maybe just the guy drew the tank here or something. I don't know. I imagine Rob Liefeld could draw a fairly decent tank like this. And yeah, I mean, there's not much to say here. It's just, you know, a sequence of these guys fighting the Nazis. Even though, you know, in a weird way, I don't think the swastika appears anywhere. Let me check back to this double page splash when we first established. Okay, we got a little swastika here. Okay, I might have been wrong on that. Maybe I shouldn't be calling out for the swastika so much. I'm kidding. Yeah, again, like this, I feel like I've seen this shot before, either from Rob Liefeld or he's taken it from someone else. Some interesting kind of, you know, sometimes Todd McFarlane-esque kind of things where all of a sudden the cape is just super long here and he ends up using parts of it for the panel here. That's kind of interesting. But at the same time, I got to be honest, I'm wondering is that Rob Liefeld or is that Danny Miki? I don't know for sure. It's interesting, though. I'd never really noticed that before. And yeah, Die Hard, if you're confused, I wasn't sure at first, but he's got a mask over a mask. Because why not, right? I feel like if this cloth mask here that, you know, as soon as he jumps or he's in the air, kind of pulls off his face, when it's on his face, wouldn't it just obstruct his vision or something? It's, yeah. I'm not going to try to rationalize Rob Liefeld designs here. Yeah, there's something now that's being lost in the artwork to me where there's a stiffness for some reason that's, you know, that wasn't there before, that I don't feel was there before. It's hard to put my finger like right on it, but yeah. And again here, like minimal backgrounds. Like at this point, Rob Liefeld is just not doing any backgrounds at all. Maybe that's the technical assistants. Maybe those guys are doing the actual background bits. This I'm pretty sure it's this one. I think is a swipe from Steranko, from a Captain America comic. There's some stuff in this, you know, it might not just be this shot here. Maybe that's why, you know, some of these shots seem familiar to me a little bit. Like this one I mentioned, they might be lifted from Steranko. Always liked this shot, and I think the main reason being the figures tend to be more fluid in their action. I think overall a little more naturalistic, and the coloring makes it like a night scene, and I think it looks great. It's very monochrome. It's very, you know, the whole scene pretty much is almost all blue. Even the cape, the red cape's got a bit of red hues, but some purple blue stuff. Kind of a subdued lighting usage here for an Image comic of that period. I think works really well on this page. And then they go back to day, so like I don't quite get why, you know, all of a sudden it's nighttime and then it isn't. You know, this is kind of an out of sequence shot. I don't know. It's basically a montage shot, right, of all the fighting against the Nazis. You know, then we get our kind of super patriotic splash page. Yeah, and again, there's just, you know, the anatomy is Rob Liefeld stuff. The inking is just not, and it's not what, you know, for me, I've talked about it, we're past peak Liefeld for me. Not that it's horrible, but there's just an extra slickness to it that I don't think serves it as well as when it was a bit grittier and when he was inking himself, basically. And then we finish up, we're back in present day time. We get a quick shot of Super Patriot, what he looks like now. And she's talking about how the Cyberdata Corporation has turned him into, you know, a killing machine. And basically Glory wants Youngblood to go and break Super Patriot out of there. That's basically the gist of the storyline for Youngblood Strikefile, at least the Rob Liefeld half. One last thing I'm going to mention, like, the posture he's got here, I mean, it's not bad, but it's like, I can almost imagine from the other side, he's just super surprised, like, ooh, you know, and Die Hard's face never changes, he's got the mask and stuff, but like, it'd be the one shot where he's just, I don't know, his posture just, like he's been taken aback, clearly with the, you know, the broken back Liefeld thing. And Shaft here, if you really pay attention, just has quite a hump on his back there. He's quite a hump, whatever you want to call that. You should really get some chiropractic work done on this section of his neck here. And I think that's where we're going to end it, guys, because this half here, I guess I'll consider as part of the Jay Lee book, as this is where the flip happens. And this issue, I guess, had a poster or something, possibly. Am I right? It feels like something was taken out here. Well, there you have it. That is my review of Youngblood Strikefile. We'll say A in the Rob Liefeld version. Eventually, I'll be coming back with the Jay Lee version. If you have any questions or comments, concerns, things you know about this comic that I might want to know about, let me know in the comments. If you are subscribed and you're still watching the videos, thank you so much for still sticking around and being loyal to the channel. If you do watch the videos but are not subscribed, please do so below. It only takes a quick second for you, and it really helps the channel, helps get us out there, hopefully to other people who are like-minded and are into the same thing that we are, namely comic books. So everyone out there, thank you for watching and have an awesome day. King Comics presents Big Baby Volume 1, Issues 1 to 13, 204 pages of story and art. King Comics also presents Star Crasher one-shot, 32 pages, cosmic sci-fi surrealist adventure. You can find these fine comics at kingcomics.ca, at MaximusRex13 on Instagram, or on Facebook, MaxRex or Big Baby.
Like! Subscribe!